they are now just making that right-hand turn onto George V Bridge, halfway through the marathon. 13 miles gone, another 13 to go, and they move over now onto the south side of the river. Dick Evans of Wales, Andy Daly of Bellahouston, Peter Fleming of Bellahouston, crossing over the river to turn right and out that long loop through the south side of Glasgow. So let's now move back to Anniesland and join Tiger Tim Stevens and Angela McCacken.
Tell me how you feel about the race so far.
Oh, it's been great. People have been great.
Do you like to see all these supporters cheering you on?
Oh yeah, it helps a lot.
I bet it does. So do you think you'll finish?
Yeah, I don't know how long it's take, but I'll finish.
Okay, thanks.
Angela McCacken there with Richard Coulter, who's from Motherwell, aiming for 4.5 hours.
How are you feeling?
I'm just alive, no more.
How old are you, can I ask?
70.
You're 70?
Yeah.
And you're going to last this pace all right?
I don't know, I'm just getting this right eventually.
See, that's to me running from there to here.
Okay.
70! Good man, good luck.
Back to the lead pack again, who are just moving along Paisley Road West, Ibrox Stadium over to their right, or left as we look at them, and they'll be making the turn into Bellahouston Park, as you can see on the lamppost on the right. 15 miles. And just there on the left of the picture, the leading lady, Leslie Watson, 34-year-old London-based physiotherapist, number 25, second last year, hoping to go one better this year in the ladies' race. And there's a photographer making good use of a somewhat illegal vantage point. The crowds here at George V Bridge in particular, absolutely tremendous. They're all over this course, of course, but here at the bridge, they really are out in huge numbers. Another of the wheelchair contestants there, Gordon Smith from Kings Park this time. Particular admiration and respect for all the wheelchair lads in this particular race. And this is Pollock Estate with Peter Fleming, the Bellahouston Harrier, now well out on his own. As you can see, no one else within sight.
Daniel, are you going to last the pace? Oh, neighbour. Are you all right? You're sitting in the pram. What's up, man? Come on, money in. Come on. Keep it going. Come on. Get the money. Yes, what about me?
Peter Fleming is on the other side of that bridge, going the other way. There he is. The crowd know he's the leader. Many of them will know that he's a home Scot from a Glasgow club. He's left some very experienced runners in his wake, Brendan, hasn't he?
This is a very, very good run. They probably do know who he is, and they probably know he's a Scotsman, but they probably don't know that he's on schedule for the course record, and that is a remarkable run because the pace was slow early on, comparatively, and then he accelerated from 10 miles onwards, which is quite unusual. Usually the marathon runners slow down in the last few miles, but then he's turning onto the walkway alongside the river there. He'll know this course inside out because he probably trained around some of this in his regular training, and there he goes under the bridge. He's getting great support now, but he's pushing on. He's less interested in the support just for this moment. He's more interested in his own personal best, because that's what the marathon's about. It's about running better than you've ever run before, and this man's doing that. You can't ask any more from him than this. And for a Glasgow man winning the Glasgow Marathon, it'll be a remarkable feeling when he enters the last, in the Glasgow Green, the last half a mile or so.
And that looks very much like Dick Evans, the second man, Brendan, the Welshman. And who's in third place? It looks very much like the Englishman that's been causing a bit of confusion. He's down as Chris Woodhouse, and I know that you suspect he may not be Brendan, but he looks very much as if he's running in third place at the moment. And there is Peter Fleming running by the banks of the Clyde walkway. Very attractive pictures there of the late morning sunlight on the river. And there at the Carrick, that famous old vessel used to race to Australia carrying grain, one of the great sailing clippers, now the headquarters of the Royal Naval Reserve Club. Peter Fleming moves back out onto Clyde Street, and he'll now just about be able to see the gates and the entrance to Glasgow Green, which mark just 800 metres from the finishing line. And what a reception he'll get from the huge crowd gathered there for the Charathon, as it's been called. Entertainment been going on there all morning. Here he comes.
Well, I think he's suffering a bit now. He's slowed a little bit in this last mile and a half or so, and earlier it looked as though he was well on schedule for that course record, but he's going to be very, very close to it now. I thought he was going to beat it quite comfortably at one point, but he's paid for that 4-mile stretch that I talked about earlier, where he ran under 5-minute mile pace, and that's really hard running. And there's a race on now in second and third place, and he looks to be slowing dramatically there. He just needs the lift from the crowd as he enters the Glasgow Green, which he's entering there now, and he needs another glance over his shoulder, and he needs that because he needs to be reminded that there's 2 or 3 behind him.
So Peter Fleming, 800 metres to go. And it really is a very impressive finishing stretch. Any runner coming through here will enter that tunnel of trees. You can see there'll be thousands of people lining the route through under the trees, taking the straight stretch before a right-hand turn into the actual finishing stretch, which is maybe a couple of 100 yards long, along to the actual finish line in front of the People's Palace. The actual 26-mile post is in that avenue of trees. There it is on the right-hand side of the screen, 26 miles. And you can see how much the margin has been cut, because that is the second-placed man. And the crowd roaring those athletes on.
The lead car comes into the finishing straight.
I wonder if Peter Fleming realises just how much he's been caught up in the last couple of miles.
Peter Fleming, time last year was 2 hours 19:40.
The announcer in the park telling the crowd gathered there
16:40.
Peter's time last year. Looks very much like the Englishman in second place now.
Yeah, the Englishman in second place, and Peter Fleming slowing quite dramatically. He's going to be very, very close, maybe just outside the course record, but he is inside his own personal best time, and that's very important for him. And he's kept driving up the finishing straight here, and he just turns now. You'll see the finishing banners as he turns. He's not going to get caught now, and there you can see the finishing line. He's got great support here. It's a very, very good run. He's paid the price a little in the later stages for his pacemaking. I think he's just going to miss the course record here, but it's a great run, and the crowd are showing their appreciation of his run. A nice feeling for a Glasgow man in Glasgow.
So the decisive break, Peter Fleming on Barhead Road, away back at the 19-mile mark, 7 long miles ago. But it's all been worth it for 22-year-old Peter Fleming of Bellahouston Harriers. Third last year. This year he's done it. The Scottish People's Marathon champion for 1983. And a smile at 2:17:45. The garland placed around his neck, and he is absolutely shattered. Did it all on his own for that last 7 miles. An unforgettable day for those who ran, those who watched, and for the city of Glasgow, which, to borrow its proud new slogan, just for a day, was 26 miles better.